Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Today it's live opening round coverage of the California Classic. So the action is underway, and we'll take you out now to our featured golfer here at number 1. Frank, you've been there so many times. Really nothing like the first tee of a brand new championship.
The thought of the unknown, the beauty of sport, you and the golf course. Doesn't get any better, Rich.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here. Well, that's a smart shot. A lot of people would have tried to be a little more heroic from there, but there was no need.
Back on the fairway, back in play. Solid play, heart of the green. And getting ready for the putt. So with that, the score is now at even par. To the second hole now, par 4, only 371 yards. Frank, what do players need to look out for off the tee?
It's really a layup hole here. No need to hit driver down there. The biggest bunker in the distance there is about 300 yards. You have to avoid that. Nothing wrong with hitting an iron or even a hybrid off this. It's fine.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Frank, is a player thinking birdie here on this approach shot at the second hole?
Anything with the scoring club here, as long as you can get the distance right and get into the right section, is very much a birdie hole.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. That's well played. Now a good look at birdie.
It's at sneaky distance.
Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now.
Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Frank, players had hybrids, some had irons out off the tee on that short par 4 second. Time to get the big stick out here on third?
It certainly is. The third hole you play here, 3 totally different looks off the tee. This hole appears straightish off the tee, but well bunkered down the left, which makes you push that tee shot a little to the right.
310 yards and straight, you can win with that. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
This one is definitely heading left. Looks like it is going to end up in the rough. Pretty good result right there, considering...
It looked rough all the way.
Exactly.
Rich, really did.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. How does that not go in? Trying to move on with a par in his pocket. To 1 over par early on in this round. We have already begun. Let's pick up with the action at hole number 4. Frank, what have you seen in the early going from our featured golfer?
A little bit of a struggle, unsurprisingly, really. Rich, just a little messy. This wasn't to be expected. Time to sort of tighten all the screws there, have a rethink, and try and put some red numbers on the board. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. With that ball nestled down just a bit in that heavy rough. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Solid effort and reasonable result to stay at 1 over par. So we played our first par 3, now to the first par 5 on this golf course at PGA West. It is the 535-yard 5th hole. Frank, it appears as though it rewards precision off the tee.
And the Bombers, too. You can run out of water at 335 yards. So for the Dustin Johnsons of the world and the Rory McIlroys, that's nearly doable. But if you can't hit it that far, it's quite obvious. You've got to keep it down the right side. And for those people, they put 2 little bunkers there.
And he steps up to take this shot from the fairway. Not looking good, Frank.
I think it's wet.
Might need some wings just to clear this hazard.
That water is looking rather intimidating.
This now the 4th shot after the last one was in the water.
Yeah, just somehow just get it on the green.
And he's set up for his 4th shot here, looking to get it on the green with this. Moving a little left of the flagstick, Frank. He'll be pleased with that. The approach shot is about 12 feet away.
Really? This is that awkward length.
Frank, we see it every single round. These kind of putts determine whether it's a good score or an average score.
Yeah, and just like that, a bogey. He does not feel like he deserves it.
Losing a bit of ground now in this tournament. With the bogey, falls to 2 over. Well, Frank, how about this 255-yard par 3 sixth?
Yeah, there's a bit of a bailout area, sort of short and left, but the only thing really going in the player's favour, it is a big green, 51 yards in depth. So if you want to sort of do the maths in reverse, 255, take away 50, 205 front, it doesn't sound as daunting.
Frank, sadly, I've been there too often. In the water, you get down on yourself. What's the right way to approach this mentally?
Well, you've almost got to take a step backwards, Rich. This can add up so quickly. So give yourself a little pat on the back, say it's fine. I mean, you're human. You're allowed to hit bad shots. But the big thing now is to avoid 2 in a row.
Now on to his 3rd shot after the last one went into the water. Moving a little bit to the right. Well, just to the right there with some room to play. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. There you have it. Well done. Great putt. Frank, if you want to play this game at the highest level, and no doubt our players do, you have to sort of be tactical. Will you break down shots or break down a hole? How would you break down this hole in a very smart way?
Yeah, I know what you're getting at there. A lot of people would think 350 yards, you could bash a driver down there, you'd finish up in trouble. Well, the way to be aggressive on a strategic hole is to just put the first one in play in a position where you can attack with the second. And there's no shame in that. You can still walk off here more days than often than not with a 3.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. You get the sense now with that birdie that our young star, so explosive, is setting himself up for a big weekend run. 555-yard par 5 8th hole. Frank, is this a 2-shotter or a 3-shotter?
Good question, Rich. It starts to shrink down by the walkway, which is around that 330-yard mark. That's the decision has to be made. Personally, I think you try it at first, because even if you do find a fairway bunker, then it is certainly allowed. If you've got the distance, it's well worth the risk.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Nice position, short grass, second shot. Frank, this one's going too far left, it looks like.
Yeah, it was fine there for a little while, but if it keeps going left, it's doomed.
Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was heading for that quick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. And I guess you're allowed that in this game.
So the short miss, and those are painful. Back-to-back birdies, we'll see. Makes it and moves to 1 over. Frank, as we arrive here at the par 4 ninth, 452 yards, I hear players like you often say, I'm going to take it on. What do you mean by that, and how does it apply to this particular tee shot?
Well, you have options, obviously. One is to hit it down that right side, which is your best shot. The easy way is obviously to bail it out down the left side, but then you're almost giving into the hole, like you're accepting you're going to make bogey if you're lucky. So in the end, you're forced to go back to option A, which is actually to challenge the best shot you have, which is down the right side.
Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie.
It's at sneaky distance.
And with that birdie, moving into the top 20 on the leaderboard. Rich Lerner with Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. We're at the Career Builder Challenge, early season action. Hole number 10 as we get going on the backside. And Frank, if you're hitting it low and left or you're hitting it high and right, you can make some big numbers out here. A lot of water.
Well, you certainly can, especially for those people that have to tee off the 10th, their first tee shot of the day. Somehow sneak it down the left side. 300 yards to get past all those bunkers down the right. I don't know if you want to do that with a cold start. But the further that you can get down this hole, obviously that second shot becomes a little shorter, and you'd like to go in with a short club here. There's a wall, like, I don't know, like the Great Wall of China down that left side of this green.
Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. This is a 13-footer. So into the top 15 on the leaderboard with that birdie. A few more, and who knows, maybe top 10 or top 5. Well, we've arrived at our third par 5 of the day here at PGA West. It is the 11th. It is nicknamed appropriately Eternity. 617 yards. Beautiful looking shot right here. That ball's run out certainly over 300 yards, Frank. Call it about 310.
hazard.
Maybe wet. And that one rolls just into the rough.
Now you have to decide whether or not that ball's going to fly or not.
Frank, not where he wants to be, but not out of the hole here at the par 5.
No, but Rich, to drop a shot here.
Frank, this is always such a difficult spot for a golfer. You just hit one out of bounds, you're trying to regroup.
He's going to need to more than regroup now. He's making a complete mess of this hole. Fifth shot. This one better be on the green.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
All right, now another shot from the rough.
Yeah, this time better be better than the one we just saw.
And he's made it onto the green now. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Just a shade over par, +1. Now the par 4 12th, only 363 yards, but Frank, it is intricate. There's a lot involved, isn't there, in playing a hole like this?
Yeah, I think this is where you have to work out, which clubs do you hit the best? Are you better with a 9-iron? Are you better with the wedge? Because that's the distance you want to hit it to. That's how you can be aggressive, even when you're laying up.
So yet another short iron shot into a par 4 here at the 12th. This won't hurt him. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
That's costly right there.
Painful.
Has this now for bogey. In for bogey, now sitting at 2 over for the round. Well, Frank, we came off a hole, the short par 4 12th, where players no doubt were thinking about making birdie. Here, it's a different story. Why?
It is. Well, 13's always going to be unlucky for some. There's so much water down there on that left side. And the way it sort of laps up to the wooden bulkhead, it looks anything other than a straight shot. And this is where you have to mentally move the flag. You've got to push that flag in your mind's eye to the right side of the green and say, I do not want to go left of that.
Good-looking shot right here. That's well played. Now a good look at birdie.
It's no snack, though.
Bang. Has it. 14th hole, par 4 of 389 yards. It is short, but Frank, there is some danger lurking along the way.
Yeah, most of it's sand. Two options really: poke it down that left side, let it run down there like a bowling alley. Either that or take that bunker completely out of play, 290, 300 yard category, and get it down there where it's just a flick wedge in.
So that sets up a tougher second shot, missing the fairway with the drive, now in the rough. Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Settles in over the putt. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Just a couple of feet. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Par 4 15th, measuring in at 468 yards.
Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough.
Oh, that's off the beaten track. That's got 5 minutes to find it.
Frank, what's the best way to get at the golf ball when it's sitting down just a bit in the rough?
You have to accept the fact, first and foremost, that you're not going to get clean contacts. You have to decide whether the ball's going to come out short or it's going to fly. Because very rarely will it come out the normal distance of what you hit on the fairway. So if it's a little thin and wispy, chances are it might fly. If it's nestled down, you're going to have to take at least another club. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Mishit, wrong club. What happened there, Frank?
All of the above, maybe. It's a little bit of a head scratcher. Wasn't that hard a shot.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Getting set now over the putt. All right, no damage done. Stays at 1 over par with that putt. Now to the par 5 16th. Frank, this is a pretty solid hole.
Like all the other par 5s here, length gets a big advantage here. This hole, as you mentioned, bends to the left, and that bunker can be taken out of play by the longest hitters. 326 yards will get you past that. Otherwise, there's sort of a V shoot down the right side that everybody else has to respect.
Not quite what he wanted. Tee shot is in the bunker. Frank, just a slight miss off the tee. He's in the fairway bunker.
Yeah, just really got to pick the right club once again. Sometimes you take a little bit more club out of the fairway bunker, choke down.
His second shot. Out of the sand and back on the fairway.
Yeah, good shot. Just really utilized that little bit between the ears. Realized he couldn't reach the green and instead opted for fairway.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Well, well, well. Here we are. Famous Alcatraz. This could be a good one. You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
Tough game, Frank. You can hit 300-yard drives and miss 3-foot putts.
Yeah, there's the ecstasy, and that's the agony.
Has his par. Well, here we are at 18. It's a par 4, only 439 yards, but again, we've said it all day long, water to deal with.
It's a great driving hole here, Rich. You don't necessarily have to hit driver. There's 3 groups of bunkers that are really in play off the.
So toweled off, dried off, and ready to go.
Yeah, let's hope this swing he hasn't still got the floaties on.
Third shot now after the last one found the deep blue.
Yeah, you can still minimize the damage here. It's only one bad shot that you got punished for. Oh, this is heading in the wrong direction.
Uh-oh. Frank, they threw him a life vest. He's back on dry land.
And I hope this time he swings, he doesn't have the water wings on.
Has to regroup, playing his 5th shot after hitting it in the water.
Yeah, it's not all lost. Once again, check the yardage, check the wind. Start again.
And that one rolls just into the rough.
Now you have to decide whether or not that ball's going to fly or not.
Not enough on that one.
Yeah, it just seemed to baby it.
Frank, you always talk about it. Don't compound the mistakes. Well, here we are, another shot from the rough.
And this one no easier than the one he's just hit.
That will be 4 over par on the scorecard for this hole. Time to pick up and move on. Don't forget, second round coverage coming your way tomorrow here on EA Sports for our entire crew. I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now.